Are cognitive biases stalling your digital transformation journey? In an era when rapid technology evolution offers boundless business possibilities, you'd think it would be much easier than it is to sell digital transformation efforts. Despite clear evidence that digital technology can enhance performance, many organizations remain hesitant, postponing the valuable opportunities for increased efficiency that data management, AI, and predictive analytics provide. That is, until failure forces their hand. Let's take a closer look at the reason behind this. Understanding cognitive biases. A big part of the reluctance I just described can be traced to something called cognitive biases. These are mental shortcuts the brain uses to make quick decisions, shaped by evolution to help us avoid danger and reduce complexity. While helpful in fast and instinctive scenarios, these biases often distort modern decision-making, especially in uncertain or unfamiliar contexts like digital transformation. Having recently reread the Harvard Business Review article, How to Avoid Catastrophe, Tinsley et al., 2011, the focus on our hardwired biases made me think about this. Just like biases have contributed to major disasters such as Deepwater Horizon, Challenger, and other crises, they also distort business decisions. Just as owner-operators missed clues towards those tragedies, the same blinding biases may undervalue emerging technologies or misjudge the relatively low effort required for change. The consequences of inaction. Leaders are inundated with thoughts about risk, and it can be hard to filter through them. These biases create those filters automatically, so they often underestimate risks, overestimate current capabilities, and avoid change even when the data suggests otherwise. This same faulty perspective leads organizations to dismiss digital transformation despite its ability to prevent costly setbacks and improve efficiency. When organizations hesitate on digital investments, the results can include delayed project startup that sends costs skyrocketing, missed turnaround restart that derails budgets, preventable process safety incident that results in operational chaos. Ironically, the costs of inaction often far exceed the investment required to build a strong digital foundation. With the right strategy, organizations can predict failures, reduce inventory waste, streamline processes, optimize maintenance spending, eliminate redundant tasks, and so much more, avoiding an environmental or process safety event. Now that's an added layer of value. Yet many organizations resist the changes required to keep up with a quickly evolving landscape. Some postpone digital investment until competitors pull ahead, while others wait until a crisis forces change, often at a far greater expense. Why the hesitation? In part, it's because cognitive biases lead decision-makers to undervalue what they can't easily see or quantify. As a result, digital initiatives are still seen as intangible compared to physical investments. Capital is then directed toward what feels concrete, such as equipment, facilities, and infrastructure. But if the goal is fewer incidents, lower cost, and higher reliability, outdated systems may be the hidden obstacle. 3. Cognitive biases that derail. Digitalization. Here are 3 common cognitive biases that get in the way of digital investment, plus tips on how to overcome them. By understanding these biases and learning how to tackle them, organizations can push past hesitation and move forward with their digital transformation. 1. Normalization of deviance. People become accustomed to working around problems, and those fixes or shortcuts become the new normal. What's abnormal is no longer even noticed. I once worked on a maintenance improvement program for a large upstream operator with a rotational workforce and broad contractor environment. Operating expenditure was getting extremely high, and we needed to find new ways to reduce their maintenance costs. During this process, we discovered 3 legacy workflows that had become normalized but were significant bottlenecks. The first was a prioritization process with very little governance. Over 60% of work orders were categorized as Priority 1, resulting in expedited parts or kitting, regardless of when the work was going to happen. The second was an estimate approval process that had never been reviewed. Contractors were paid at assumed rates, even though many tasks could have been completed in far fewer hours. The third was the lack of control in generating and scheduling work orders, which led to arbitrary task creation. This overwhelmed the schedule and resources, causing delays in previously planned work. While such a system would never be intentionally designed to work this way, over time, the lack of oversight and the erosion of standards made these flawed practices become the norm. To address this issue, my team developed manual KPIs for a set period to highlight the problem. Once these were in place, everyone quickly recognized the need for change and fully embraced the adjustments. More importantly, we implemented new governance within the Computerized Maintenance Management System, CMMS, so these legacy processes couldn't reemerge without raising flags to leadership. In this legacy environment, simply adjusting processes and training personnel wouldn't have been enough to prevent these issues from recurring. It required technology to monitor the data and notify leadership whenever there was a deviation. This offered a more sustainable solution while offering leadership a tangible view of the issues, making the problems more concrete and immediate. Lesson: technology can notice what your committed workforce might not see. The right platform prevents deviations or shows you when the wrong patterns are becoming normalized. 2. Outcome bias. One of the best books I've read on personal safety is called Safe by Accident by Aubrey Daniels and Judy Agnew, which delves into this type of thinking. Being lucky or being successful can feel very similar at the end of a successful day. But when that luck runs out, it's hard to accept that success may not have been due to skill after all. Great organizations are always thinking about risk and risk mitigation. A client of ours went through a large digital upgrade to include 3D modeling of their assets. The intent was to bring efficiency to their daily run and maintain tasks and ultimately lower operating expenses. However, it wasn't cost that posed the greatest risk. It was a fire that destroyed significant portions of their asset. Thankfully, because they'd invested in a reliable model and established strong data governance, they were able to rebuild and restart operations in record time. The model allowed them to send all rebuild specifications directly to their fabricators and eliminate the need to remeasure damaged components in the field. While cognitive biases still played a role in the process safety event, their preparedness, enabled by these digital systems, helped mitigate some of the risk and supported their swift recovery. Lesson: as much as we try to overcome cognitive biases to stay comfortable, it's how we're wired. It's critical to have a current digital twin platform as your insurance policy to recover, rebuild, and restart quickly when needed. 3. Optimism. Bias. The tendency to look for positive results can overshadow a lot of indicators that foretell very different outcomes. Owner teams commonly believe that most of the hard work in a capital project is done during the physical build itself. As a result, they assume that once all the parts and pieces are put together, the startup should go perfectly. During projects, the primary focus is usually on the construction timeline and costs, which can cause teams to overlook the importance of quality data. Since projects are usually behind schedule, this puts additional pressure on the commissioning and startup teams to perform, often without easy access to reliable as-built data. Given the complexity of modern facilities, startup issues can require days or even weeks of effort from engineers and craft superintendents to identify and resolve. But with quickly accessible, reliable data, these root causes and repairs can happen much faster. Many of our clients have expressed gratitude for having access to this data, as it has allowed them to quickly remedy surprise startup issues or manufacturer recalls. They frequently highlight how these corrections took hours rather than days or weeks. Lesson: anticipate the data you'll need when risks become reality. From the start of the asset's engineering, be sure to collect, contextualize, and curate its data so it's available when you need it, ideally before the commissioning team begins their work. Breakthrough biases. The smart way. Executives are setting higher targets to remain competitive, meet ESG goals, guarantee safety and compliance, and reduce their total cost of ownership. While these are crucial objectives, there comes a point when a dedicated workforce alone cannot achieve them. They will require the power of today's digital platforms to help them make faster, more impactful decisions and recover quickly from incidents. Additionally, they can predict failures or breakdowns, which was not possible just a few years ago. The team at ReVisionz understands how cognitive biases can distort decision-making and hinder digital transformation efforts. We help organizations break free from these limiting beliefs with data-driven insights that challenge ingrained assumptions and enable more informed decisions. By leveraging the most powerful digital tools today, we empower teams to see patterns, predict failures, and make decisions that drive better outcomes. Let's work together to unlock your organization's full potential. About the contributor. Kirk Gibson, president of ReVisionz North America, leads daily operations, sales and marketing, and strategic partnerships while advancing the company's long-term vision. He focuses on executing strategic goals for growth and delivery excellence while driving ongoing innovation in ReVisionz offerings, strengthening client alignment, building industry partnerships, and maintaining strong organizational performance. With over 17 years of global experience in performance improvement and strategy implementation across oil and gas, petrochemicals, and manufacturing, Kirk brings both strategic insight and practical expertise to achieving success for clients and the company. And as a former U.S. Army captain, he applies a disciplined, mission-focused approach to leadership,